Thanks for joining us on Arirang News. I'm Kim Dami in Seoul. More than half of the professors at Seoul National University Hospital are carrying out an indefinite suspension of medical services starting Monday in retaliation against a medical reform by the government. Now, the government is tightening its emergency medical systems while urging the professors to do their duty. The South Korean government is looking to welcome back more tourists from around the world by adopting post-pandemic tourism trends like introducing new visa measures and simplifying entry procedures. 80 countries have agreed to sign a joint statement backing Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty at a peace summit in Switzerland. But India, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa, all members of the BRICS economic group with Russia, ruled themselves out of the communique. Professors at Seoul National University Hospital have begun their walkout with no resolution reached with the government over the medical school quota expansion. But the reduction in services will not affect severely ill patients. Ian-hee reports.
Medical professors at Seoul National University Hospital begin an indefinite walkout starting Monday over an ongoing medical dispute with the government. Professors from 3 affiliate hospitals, including Seoul National University Bundang Hospital, are also participating in the walkout. However, an emergency committee from the hospitals emphasized that essential care would continue for patients with severe illnesses and rare diseases during the period, and estimated an overall reduction in services of approximately 40%.
The walkout applies to regular outpatient treatments and scheduled surgeries for patients who can be managed at other hospitals or whose treatments can be delayed without significant impact for the time being.
The committee instructed professors who are participating in the walkout to be present and available at the hospital during their scheduled working hours. It also has a rally scheduled for Monday morning at the Seoul National University College of Medicine, which will be followed by a symposium at 1 p.m. under the title The Demise of Expert Groups. The Korea Alliance of Patients organization released a statement on Monday, urging the medical professors to withdraw from taking action. It accused them of using patients' anxiety and suffering as a means to pressure the government and criticized the walkout. On Sunday, the Korean Medical Association presented 3 demands to the government, including reconsidering the medical school expansion and the canceling of administrative orders against medical trainees and students. However, the Health Ministry reiterated the government's position, saying there are no plans for change. This means that the Korean Medical Association will proceed with its plan for a one-day general strike on Tuesday. With growing concerns over the walkout, the government advised hospitals to consider pursuing claims for damages if prolonged action results in financial losses. The government on Sunday also announced plans to reinforce the medical emergency response system.
I don't believe all doctors have agreed to participate in a collective strike. I trust that the silent majority will continue to provide care for patients.
Based on the government's announcement, a rotational on-call system for emergency cases will be implemented starting Monday in an effort to minimize severe medical disruptions. Ian-hee, Arirang News.
The South Korean government is moving to further promote the nation's tourism sector by adapting to post-pandemic tourism trends. Our economics correspondent Lee Soo-jin has the details.
South Korea is ramping up efforts to boost tourism revenue. During an economic meeting with related ministers held on Monday, the South Korean government said that it plans to introduce new visa measures and simplify entry procedures.
We will discuss ways to further boost recovery in areas related to domestic consumption, such as tourism. We will address the inconveniences that foreigners experience during the entry process and promote cultural experiences.
This comes amid the somewhat sluggish recovery in revenue from tourism. The government mostly attributed this to tourism trends changing after the COVID-19 pandemic, with there being more independent tourism than group tourism and tourists turning to immersive cultural experiences rather than shopping. The government is moving to adapt to these changing trends by pilot testing the K-Culture Training Visa by the end of the year for foreign visitors who wish to experience and learn about K-pop, choreography, and modeling. And it's also considering implementing a region-focused digital nomad visa for areas outside the capital area. South Korea has been test operating digital nomad visas, a workation visa, since January 1st this year, which allows foreigners who work remotely to travel in the country. This new region-focused digital nomad visa is expected to include incentives for foreigners to encourage them to also visit regional areas in the nation. The government also plans to simplify entry procedures. It will implement passport optical character recognition technology that will streamline the process of personal identification and verification, as well as increase the number of people that can apply for electronic travel authorization at once from the current 50. With these new measures, the government aims to draw 30 million inbound tourists and $30 billion in tourism revenue by 2027. 이수진, Arirang News.
Samsung Electronics are ranked 21st in this year's Forbes Global 2000, and down 7 places from 2023. According to industry insiders on Monday, the fall is due to weak performance in the semiconductor business caused by a global economic downturn last year. South Korea's Hyundai Motors came in at 93rd place, up 11 spots from last year. U.S. financial institution J.P. Morgan Chase ranked first for the second straight year, followed by U.S. conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway in second. Every year, Forbes ranks 2,000 global companies by evaluating their sales, profits, assets, and market capitalization. The Ukraine Peace Summit came to an end after 2 days in Switzerland, but the event ended with many of the major countries not signing the joint communique. Lee Seung-jae reports.
Over 2 years since the start of the war in Ukraine, countries continue to look for a way to bring it to an end. However, at the end of the 2-day Ukraine Peace Summit held in Switzerland, a number of countries were unable to come to an agreement over the wording of a joint communique and decided not to sign it. The joint communique was signed by 80 out of 93 participating countries and 3 EU institutions, the European Parliament, the Council of the European Union, and the European Commission. Russia was not invited to the event, and China did not join despite an invitation. Among the countries that decided not to sign the joint communique were members of BRICS, including Brazil, India, South Africa, and the UAE. However, other major countries also decided to take a more neutral stance, including Mexico and Indonesia. The failure to sign comes despite the fact that the joint communique takes into account the participation of BRICS members and does not explicitly condemn Moscow for its actions. Instead, it recalls the Charter of the United Nations, reaffirming its commitment to refraining from the threat or use of force against territorial integrity or political independence of any state, adding that the principles of sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of all states, including Ukraine, must be respected. It also condemns any threat to use nuclear weapons, while favoring the protection of Ukrainian power plants, including Zaporizhia, which Russia currently occupies. The declaration also calls for unhindered grain exports from Ukraine, the exchange of prisoners of war, and the return of children and other civilians abducted from Ukraine to Russia. Co-host Switzerland said it's looking into a follow-up event with Russia invited to participate. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
The Israeli military announced Sunday a halt fighting during daytime hours in southern Gaza to free up a backlog of humanitarian aid. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed opposition, calling the move unacceptable. Yoon-jin reports.
On Sunday, the Israeli military announced daily tactical pauses in fighting between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. local time until further notice. The pause applies to one of the main roads that are vital to delivering aid in Gaza, in the area from the Kerem Shalom crossing to the Salah al-Din road and northwards. The pause during the daytime hours will help facilitate humanitarian aid to Palestinians in areas that have been blocked since Israeli military operations in Rafah began in early May. Outside the daily pauses, the Israeli military will continue operations in Rafah. However, according to an Israeli military officer, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed opposition to the plan, calling it unacceptable. Netanyahu's reaction further shows political tensions between members of the coalition government and the military over strategies for the ongoing war. This comes just a week after former Minister Benny Gantz resigned from the war cabinet and his criticism of Netanyahu for the lack of a clear post-war strategy. Opinion polls show that Israelis support their government's goal of destroying Hamas, but have also been protesting that the government needs to do more to bring home around 120 hostages still held by Hamas. International pressure calling for a ceasefire to the war in Gaza continues to grow. But more than 8 months into the fighting, a solution to the crisis remains out of reach. 이은진, Arirang News.
South Korea's modern pentathlon team has achieved its best ever results at the 2024 World Championships. At the Union International de Pentathlon Modern 2024 Pentathlon World Championships held in Zhengzhou, China, the Korean team on Sunday finished top of the medal table with a total of 7 medals, including 4 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze. Korea won gold in the mixed relay, men's relay, women's relay, and women's individual events. Also, for the first time, the team won medals in all 7 categories. In the women's category, Kim Seonu, and in the men's category, Seo Chang-wan, each won 2 gold medals. Going to a hair salon or a barber shop is a normal part of life for most people. But for people with disabilities and limited mobility, even going once can be quite challenging. Now, there's a special salon designed for these people. Choi Soo-hyung has more.
It's an ordinary hair salon in Seoul, but it has no steps or stairs. It's a salon created by Nowon-gu District Office just for the district's disabled residents. The first branch opened 2 years ago, and due to the overwhelming demand, it established a second branch within just 1 year. In November 2023, the Hue Hair Cafe opened its second branch in Nowon-gu District. Here at the Gongneung branch, even the smallest barriers have been removed to improve access for disabled customers. There are braille blocks near the entrance, and charging facilities are available for electric wheelchair users. The mirrors in the lavatory are installed lower than usual. Everything from haircuts to dyeing and shampooing can be done all at once without moving to a separate shampoo room. The cost for a haircut is around $5, and even a perm is less than $14. Data from the Korea Consumer Agency in May shows the average cost for a haircut in downtown Seoul is over $15. Before the Hue existed, the customers' family members usually cut their hair at home, or they visited a regular salon once every 2 or 3 years.
So good to be here. It's affordable, there's a restroom inside, and I can do everything from cutting to styling my hair all at once.
The hair designer said that she just focuses on making customers happy.
Serving customers is my job here at the hair shop anyway. I provide the exact same service like others. I'm just a hairstylist. When customers leave satisfied with their hairstyle, it makes me happy. That's all.
The Nowon-gu office has been communicating with disabled people and their families about what they need in their daily life.
There are several joint bodies for communicating with disabled individuals in our district office. They have consistently requested hair salons. In response, Nowon-gu office has taken the initiative to assess and establish these facilities.
An expert said the facilities only for disabled people might seem like another form of segregation, but these disabled-friendly spaces are still necessary.
We need to consider whether there have been sufficient facilities available for disabled people in the region until now. For most people, going to libraries, coffee shops, hospitals, and hair salons is so normal in their daily lives. However, for disabled people, it was hard to access these common facilities in the local community.
She added that more support and attention is needed from both the public and private sectors.
I hope that private and public sectors can collaborate more to create barrier-free facilities. When the government supports private business owners trying to make disabled-friendly hospitals or salons, it could become easier.
Customers at the Hue Hair Cafe said that they hope hair salons for disabled people can one day be found nationwide. Choi Soo-hyung, Arirang News.
Last week was an exciting one for BTS fans, with the member Jin returning from the military and the band celebrating the 11th anniversary of their debut. Our culture correspondent Song Yu-jin has this story.
둘, 셋, 방탄. 안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다. 아미.
The first of the 7 BTS members is back. Jin, the eldest and the first to begin his 18-month mandatory military service, was discharged from the army on June 12th. Now he's back with his devoted armies. The 31-year-old wasted no time and held a fan meet and greet the very next day. For fans, it felt like a double celebration as the event was part of the annual BTS Festa. So every year, BTS holds this BTS Festa to celebrate the anniversary of the band's debut, June 13th, with their fans. Now this year, despite the temperature soaring above 30 degrees Celsius, as you can see, the festival site is packed with fans. Although it's been 2 years since BTS announced their hiatus as a group, fans have shown their unwavering love and support, giving Jin the warmest welcome.
My bias is Jin, so yes, Kim Seokjin. So he comes back, and I don't know, I feel like my favorite person in the world, you know, come back to me, and it's really important.
So the wait of like 1.5 years, like it came to an end, and we see him so happy, so handsome. It made us feel like so proud.
Experts credit this to the members staying connected with fans by releasing music prepared before their enlistment.
Recently, the industry has been trying to minimize the military hiatus for male celebrities. This approach is also seen with actors like Park Bo-gum and Lee Do-yeon, who released movies while doing their service. Additionally, fans now feel the wait is shorter because the military service period has been reduced to about 1.5 years.
Fans say it's because of the group's unique charm and continued loyalty.
Their performance and skills are always top-notch. There's no one like them.
A lot of things happened in the pandemic, and the BTS look like saved me in this moment.
The countdown to BTS's full reunion has begun, promising an exciting new chapter in the group's career, once they reconvene as a complete group after June 2025, when all 7 members finish their military service. 송유진, Arirang News.
Amid a growing appetite for Korean food, more foreigners are looking to learn how to cook their favorite Korean dishes. Lots of cooking classes targeting foreigners have been recently set up. Our Cha Yoon-kyung has this story.
Foreigners residing in Korea are wearing aprons and putting red pepper powder, garlic, and plum marmalade into salted cabbage before mixing it all together. They're learning how to make kimchi.
It was easier than I thought. I like this one, the cabbage one, pechu, and I also like the one that comes with fried chicken, the ones in the cube, the radish ones.
Foreign exchange students from the U.S. also made special memories by tasting the kimchi they made.
I think so. I think I'll try to make it for my family. This is my second time being in Korea, so it was nice to get to actually do this time. I would love to try to make kimbap or bibimbap.
I hope I can watch some videos and also use this experience to try to recreate the flavor that we did today.
This is a cooking class held in the Kimchi Museum. About 14,000 foreign tourists visited here last year, 40% higher than pre-pandemic levels in 2019. There were 4 months this year when more than 1,000 foreigners applied for kimchi making classes.
There are lots of questions about kimchi ingredients like plum marmalade or where to buy salted seafood. Nowadays, lots of foreigners already have knowledge about various kinds of kimchi and make inquiries.
Food companies are establishing experience programs for Korean food, targeting foreigners interested in K-food. One place opened a cooking class making 겉절이 and kimbap, following a request from U.S. university students. A cooking studio by a different food company also holds a Korean food class given in English and Japanese. Rather than simply enjoying food-related videos known as mukbang, foreigners are now learning how to make Korean food by themselves. Cha Yoon-kyung, Arirang News.
Let's take a look at the latest news in the world now. We begin today in the US, where over 1,000 people have been forced to evacuate due to a wildfire in Southern California named the Post Fire, which has burned over 12,000 acres as of Sunday afternoon local time. According to the Los Angeles County Fire Department, the California State Park Service has evacuated 1,200 people, mainly campers in Hungry Valley Recreation Area in Gorman, and close off the site along with the Pyramid Lake Reservoir. According to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, the blaze started on Saturday near the Interstate 5 freeway in Gorman, some 100 kilometers northwest of Los Angeles. Authorities reported that over 300 firefighters, including air tanker crews, are working to contain the fire. While the cause of the fire remains under investigation, CAL FIRE has said that only 2% has been contained as of Sunday. While this year's Hajj pilgrimage is in full swing in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, the intense heat has left at least 14 pilgrims dead, while over a dozen have been reported missing. Jordan's foreign ministry said that 14 of its nationals died after suffering sunstroke due to the extreme heat wave, while an additional 17 have been reported missing. Jordanian authorities said that they are continuing the search for those missing. The Iranian Red Crescent has also confirmed the deaths of 5 Iranians, but didn't specify the cause of death. Temperatures in Mecca and Medina soared to over 46 degrees Celsius. Saudi's weather authority had warned of an increase in average temperatures by up to 2 degrees above normal. The Saudi press agency reports that a medical center near Mount Arafat also recorded 225 cases of heat stress. The 5-day-long pilgrimage ends on Wednesday. Moving over to Germany, a man with a pickaxe who threatened police officers in the city of Hamburg was shot down by police on Sunday. Police have reported that he is now receiving medical attention. A Hamburg police spokesperson confirmed that the suspect was armed with a pickaxe and also tried to ignite a petrol bomb before being pepper sprayed and shot. While local media reported the incident took place near the Euro 2024 tournament fan zone for supporters of the Dutch football team, a Hamburg police spokesperson stressed that they are assuming it to be, quote, an isolated case, which means it is not football-related. A group of around 20 people broke into a jewelry store in Sunnyvale, California last week, smashing display cases and running off with stolen items. The robbery took place last Wednesday in broad daylight at 1:27 p.m. local time, targeting the P&G jewelers. The suspects fled in groups in multiple vehicles before police arrived, but the police reportedly only managed to spot 2 of the vehicles. While on the chase, officers lost sight of one of the vehicles, while 5 suspects in another vehicle were apprehended after attempting to flee on foot. According to the Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety, the 5 arrested suspects were booked into the Santa Clara County Jail and faced charges including armed robbery, felony vehicle evasion, resisting arrest, burglary, and vandalism. Kim Seong, Arirang News.
Good afternoon. After a slight heat relief on Saturday, the heat is back again. And especially those in Gangneung should notice temperatures going up nearly 5 degrees this afternoon. And it will keep getting hotter through the midweek, with a chance of record-breaking warmth in store on Wednesday for most parts of Korea. Grab your sunglasses and pack some extra water as you head outside. Sun-filled skies will boost UV rays to very high levels this afternoon, except on Jeju Island, where spotty rain is in the forecast under cloudy skies. Speaking of Jeju, the resort island seems to be the only area with temperatures around the norms. Inland regions are having much hotter temperatures than they should be under sunny skies at 30 degrees. Here in the capital, Daejeon, Daegu, see a high of 31 degrees. But again, 30 degrees might sound much more comfortable by Wednesday when the mercury hits 34 in the capital. Meanwhile, Jeju Island will be rainy from Wednesday through Friday. With that in mind, let's take a look at the international weather conditions.
That's all we have at this hour. Arirang News will be back at 2 p.m. Korea time. Thanks for watching.